good morning everyone, and it is Wednesday the 4th of February. Good morning Axel, how are you?
Good morning Angeline, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am very good indeed, and markets seem to be back in the vibe again. Taking a look across the board, looking like it's at risk on its early doors just yet, but they all seem to be edging higher.
Well, yes, but they did come off a bit yesterday, didn't they, on these AI worries?
Yeah,
and
on these...
some disappointing earnings. I mean, Microsoft down 3% isn't exactly bullish.
No, and Nvidia as well. Their sales in China also stalled. And we still have that one eye on US-Iran tensions there as well, after that F-35C was shot down, or rather it shot down the Iranian surveillance drone near the USS Abraham Lincoln. Elsewhere, let's just have a look at the FTSE and the specific gainers and losers. If you see my eyes twitching, it's because my IFB this morning, Axel, has a bit of that crackly sound like in the Stranger Things before the Demogorgons arrive. Let's have a look. Don't know whether you've watched Stranger Things, Axel.
I haven't, no, but everybody else has, I guess.
So let's have a look at the winners there. First, NEO is at top of the winners board again, and Shell and BP also climbing there. Any of those pique your interest?
Well, I mean, basically, it's exactly what we saw yesterday, Angeline. I mean, we have miners going up because we saw yesterday the gold price rise by nearly 6%, the silver price back up 11%. And obviously, the oil price is also heading higher on these heightened tensions in the Middle East. So that's why we've got BP and Shell up here this morning.
What's also interesting is that some of the banks have joined the winners list as well. We've seen banks having some of that volatility too. And they were in the red earlier in the week, but now they are in the black. Let's have a look at the losers. Right move down 1.2% there. We also have LSE Group, and we saw Rich at the LSE yesterday with Andrew Webley, also down 0.75%. Axel?
Well, again, like yesterday, we are seeing a lot of mixed stocks on the downside. So there isn't a particular sector which seems to be underperforming, except perhaps in the general group, defensive stocks don't seem to be doing that well. But having said that, I mean, you've got BAE Systems in here, but it's very, very slightly down, so it doesn't really count, which obviously is not a defensive, it's a defense stock itself. But yes, I mean, basically, it's a very mixed picture, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's have a quick look as well at some of the individual movers. Let's check in on Novo Nordisk, because this is part of the 24-hour offering here at IG, down more than 5% there. Novo Nordisk, of course, came up with numbers. Bitcoin is at a key level as well. Let's have a look at that. Not just a key thing for Bitcoin itself, but also the wider market. Let's have a look there. And it is currently at the 76,293. So past that 75,000 key support level. What do you think of Bitcoin, Axel?
Well, if you put up a weekly chart, and you'll see that Bitcoin yesterday basically retested the April lows from last year. And if you then go back even further to sort of 2 or 3 years ago, you can see that we also have these highs going back to March of 2024. So no, the highs to the right, Angeline. Further, yeah, these highs together with the lows in April of last year. That's a really, really important support area for me. So between $75,000 and $70,000 for Bitcoin. So it'll be interesting to see whether we can hold in that area or not. It is a major support area, and therefore I would not be surprised if we were to bounce back from current levels. But if that support were to give way, then the technical picture would look much, much worse, because it would indicate that basically the decline we've seen since last year, the end of last year, is more than just a sort of a pretty deep correction. It could be the beginning of a bear market But as I say, for me at the moment, I believe we're going to hold at this support area.
Do you think that if we hold at that support area and if we head higher, perhaps we could see a rally to perhaps the next area of interest, which is around the 89 to 90 area?
Well, I mean, first of all, we've got the low from December, which is further down to contend with. We need to take that one out. That's not that far. It's just above $82,000, I think. And basically, once we've done that, if you go on a daily chart, you can see it much better. That low there, yeah. That is going to be resistance now. These lows, these three lows you're just pointing at, that whole area you just highlighted there. Because that's where we stalled just 2 weeks ago before we came off again and headed into this support area we're in at the moment. So technically speaking, it will be quite difficult, I think, to have a reversal to the upside, take us right through that area. And then obviously the mid-January high is the most important one, but that's a long way away now. That was around $96,000, wasn't it? And that would need to be taken out before we can say, well, that we are going to reverse to the upside and go back towards $126.
I love it when Axel talks about the technicals, because I want to see, it's actually more important if it doesn't align with my terrible drawing there. But in this case, it does align. So that makes me very happy indeed, because it tells me that both Axel and I are looking at the same areas. And you hear analysts talk about confluence a lot as well. So don't forget to keep your eye on the volume and also any other oscillators that you might be looking at, because you should not be trading on just one technical or technicals on their own in a vacuum. Let's have a look at the commodities as well, because this is really interesting. As Axel mentioned, gold still riding higher, up almost 3% there. Silver also up another 6%. Let's have a look at silver actually, because it's had a really interesting day. Right, here we are at silver. Axel, I'm sitting on the other seat today because they want to try that out, but it's a bit strange looking at the charts to your right. I'm not used to that. You're normally sat in this seat.
Right, okay. I don't know. I'm at home, so for me it's even weirder. But yeah, if you're going on to a daily chart, because here a 1 minute chart is really not that interesting. Daily. I mean, yeah, we've had a 5% move yesterday. We've had a 6% move higher, 3% more, I think, today. The question is, can we take out that big negative candle we saw? Well, that's the big question. I'm not sure we can, because a big reversal like this, just after the major doji we saw the day before, that big red Marubozu candle to the downside, is a typical potential trend reversal signal. And I wouldn't be surprised if we were to retest $100 on silver, but then probably fail around the midpoint of that big Marubozu candle. That is the red one that we are looking at. Because if you take the halfway point of that body, so the halfway point of that area between the open and the close, which is called the real body in the Japanese terminology, then the halfway point of that difference between the open and the low, open and the close, I should say, that would then be a resistance, basically that could be interesting going forward, whether we're going to stall there or not. But before we do, we've got an area around $95, which is also the highs basically that we saw before we had the last acceleration higher to the all-time high in the middle of your chart here. So yes, I mean, silver is heading back up again. The question is exactly at that midpoint there where you're pointing right now, can it then go through the halfway point of that Marubozu line? And I'm not sure we can, because quite often that is an area where markets tend to then fail if they have a major reversal in place. But we don't know yet. We'll see.
Wonderful, wonderful. For those of you watching from the comforts of your home, I've drawn the lines at the top and the bottom of the shadows as well, just to illustrate what Axel was telling you about.
Yeah, the only thing is I was talking about the body, so just the red bit, not the shadows. You ignore them. When you look at resistance, you just take the body, so the difference between the open and the close, and then take the halfway point of that. That's where your resistance is going forward. So the difference between wherever the highest point, the open is of that candle and then the close, yeah, somewhere there, basically.
There we are. Right. Great. So with silver in view as well, it's also important to take a look at some of the other indicators, other commodities that are moving higher. We're seeing Brent and also oil, WTI, having a bit of an up day there, up 0.5%, up 1/3%. Of course, what is also in view is the fact that we may actually see further announcements later on today that will update us on what's happening in the Middle East. Some other big announcements out earlier. We had GlaxoSmithKline, its Q4 numbers. EPS, adjusted EPS, 25.5p versus 22.4, and revenues were 8.6 billion versus 8.4, so slightly better than expected there. Also, we had numbers out of Watches of Switzerland, and the performance there was ahead of expectations. Let's have a look at GlaxoSmithKline first. That's up more than 8% there. And also, let's have a look at the other one I mentioned. Have you got any swatches in drawers at home, Axel?
No, but coming back to Glaxo, I mean, I wrote a piece about that yesterday. If anybody's interested, they can see it on the platform or the website. And basically, I was saying that potentially we could reach the 2000 area. So we're definitely heading in the right direction there. But no, I haven't got a swatch.
It is down 2.9% at the moment, even though they said the performance is ahead of expectations. But perhaps it's the guidance that disappointed. It wasn't lifted much higher from its previous guidance. Right. What else are you looking out for earlier for the rest of the day, Axel?
Basically, just to see whether commodities are going to continue their upward trend, and also I'd be interested to see what the US dollar does, because let's not forget the fact that the US dollar stabilized at the beginning or at the end of last week triggered this sharp sell-off we saw in the commodity space. So if the dollar were to strengthen again, then obviously that could have a negative impact on gold and silver, copper, for example, as well. So I'll be watching that quite closely. And otherwise, if you look at yields in Germany yesterday, we saw yields rise to levels last seen during the financial crisis in 2008, and that hit the DAX index. So the question is, are we sort of topping out on the DAX, or is the DAX following, all the other indices like the FTSE 100, which is trading very close to record highs?
That's right. So keep an eye on that, and don't forget we also have the article on GSK. If you want to have a look at that, you can find it just by Googling Axel and GSK as well. Good morning to those of you that are joining right now. Yes, Novo Nordisk is indeed sinking. Don't forget that we also have Eli Lilly as well in view, that has just had some numbers recently. We are also taking a look at quite a number of earnings coming up later. Let's bring up this graphic that I've made for you earlier. I've made it bigger now because many of you messaged yesterday. Thank you very much for saying that we love the graphic, but can you make it a bit larger for us, Ange? And here we are. So we've got Alphabet in view. Q4 earnings expected there. A sales jump is due, or rather expected by analysts, due to this AI-boosted advertising. We'll see. And also its cloud services outlook will be in focus as well, to see how many customers are actually adopting AI type services. We also have Eli. For some reason, this is not allowing me to scroll, trader friends. Let's try that again. If you come off my chart gallery, somehow now the F11 doesn't seem to be working. or is interfering with the scrolly, and it wants to actually make it larger. Axel, what are you looking at for other than the dollar whilst I'm getting this to work?
What else is interesting? Well, obviously, I mean, Alphabet is going to be very, very critical, and a colleague of mine has written an article on that. Again, you can see that on the website. And yes, we will see whether we get adoption of more AI technology in companies or not. Now, what's been interesting is that Microsoft hasn't done so well overnight, down 3%. But if you look at Palantir was up 7%. So we've got a really mixed picture here in the AI space so far with regards to earnings. And what I'll also be looking at is later this week, the Bank of England. I mean, nothing much expected to happen there. And obviously non-farm payrolls on Friday. Those are going to be really, really important because it's all about the state of the employment picture in the US. And we'll have to see whether employment is still slowing down in the US or not. But I think that will be a big data point to watch. And also, at the end of this week, most of US companies will have reported their earnings.
Good morning, good morning. Whilst Axel was talking, you didn't see Phil sneaking in and sneaking out again. But for some reason, the computer says no. He can see that it's all there, but somehow or another, it's maybe so large that the AI is starting to slightly hallucinate. But I can read through this for you. We have Eli Lilly as well, as I alluded to. Look out for the Alzheimer's portfolio progress and also drug pricing, of course, because we're still waiting on the Trump administration agreement details and economic data, the non-manufacturing PMI, the ISM. That is expected to come in at 53.5 versus 54.4 prior to that, and also the ADP employment report. So that is a roundup of what to look out for in the coming coming session. Any questions, anything at all, do bung them below and we will get them answered. Also hit the like and subscribe button. And for all the rest of our content, do look on IG_UK_official because you can find them all there in our brand new home. Axel, have a great day ahead, and to the rest of you, whatever you're doing, may you stack the odds in your favor.